Hey, what's up, guys? This is IFBB Pro Brad Rowe. So today we're going to talk about mental health and just not even in bodybuilding, but just mental health in general. For the first time really in my life, I got a case of anxiety. I'm one of those people, I tend to throw a lot on my plate. I try to make the most out of every single minute. I plan my day out where, I don't allot for any issues or anything to get in the way. I need things to run smoothly. And if they don't, then, I feel like I get overwhelmed if things get backed up. I've always had this mentality of why put off tomorrow what you can do today? Or the way I'd say it is, what can I do today to make tomorrow easier? And then tomorrow comes and I try to figure out what I can do then to make the next day easier. So I'm always finding tasks or things to do to keep myself busy and keep myself occupied. So it can become overwhelming at times, especially when you're really tired and you're short on time in general, like you are in prep. Last week was a big week. I was just really tired from prep. I was 2 weeks out from my show. This is my fourth show in a 7-week span. And I had 5 clients competing over the weekend. And all of a sudden, like on Wednesday, I just started getting just a heavy feeling. It just felt like I couldn't control everything in my life. I had no control over things, and I hate not being in control. And things just perpetuated over the weekend and got worse and worse and worse. My attitude changed. I started getting really snappy, even more than usual. I just almost felt like shutting down. And I realized that, shit, this is what anxiety feels like, And my wife, who was never really concerned for my mental well-being, it really kind of took a toll on her, and it took a toll on me. It took a toll on a couple of my clients that were around. And for the first time, I wouldn't back out of this show, but it was, what's causing this? Why all of a sudden, for the first time in my life, am I dealing with this? There's a lot of additional pressures in my life now. The older you get, obviously, the more responsibility you get. Owning a house now, having 4 dogs, the commute that we have, my daily life, as you guys seen my day in the life. I load myself up and I put a lot of pressure on myself to perform and excel in everything I do, whether it be with clients. You can ask any of my clients, you email me and I respond typically within minutes, even if it's just to say, hey, got it, touch base on a little bit, but I try to be very responsive. And I think a combination of all the clients competing and me being more active on social media, I'm getting an influx of inboxes. Just the world just kind of collapsed on me, and I had a really hard past 7-8 days. One of my training partner pretty much didn't want to train me anymore. Unfortunately, he dealt with a father that had extreme anxiety issues, so it was kind of like triggering some PTSD type stuff for him. My wife, just was miserable, saw that I was miserable and unhappy. I've said before that Steph never said no to me about anything, but she was like, you're not doing Tampa. I don't care what happens next week. You just need to shut down. You need time for yourself. So it was tough. You feel helpless almost. And I don't ever like feeling helpless. I'm one of those people, I feel like I can conquer the world. Give me anything and I can do it. And this weekend just kicked my ass mentally. And for the first time I thought, why am I bodybuilding? Why do I do this? Why am I putting all this on my plate? And I thought about taking a long break for a while, but I don't know, then things kind of slowed down. I had to talk to my training partner on Wednesday, and I've had a couple good days. And I know anxiety is one of those things that comes and goes. I come from a family that deals with anxiety issues and stuff like that, and it's one of those things you don't understand it when you're on the outside. It's like depression. You don't get it. You just think, like if you're someone like me, this total alpha male, his whole life, you hear someone talk about, oh, I'm depressed, I can't do this, I can't get out of bed, and you're just like, stop being a fucking pussy. What the fuck is wrong with you? Just get the fuck up, put your pants on, and go fucking get shit done. That's an outsider's perspective on someone who is dealing with mental struggles. But when you actually go through it and you feel it, it's just amazing at how, like, it's crazy at how helpless you are, you know, and how it just feels like you're trapped underwater and you can't breathe, and there's nothing you can do. You can't escape from this imprisonment. So it was a real eye opener this week. Like I said, I hope it was just a moment of just being completely run down and overwhelmed with clients competing and everything else that I've been juggling, because I certainly don't want to have to go through that again. But I know plenty of friends that have had to step away from bodybuilding. I made a commitment to my wife that I would go see a counselor after the show's over. Not just for this issue, but, you know, some other underlying issues that I've had my whole life. You know, one of the things is like, I'm such a go person, and I don't allow people to do other things for me, and I have a short temper. You know, so there's just a lot of mental issues that, you know, that us men especially just don't really want to confront and don't want to admit that we have problems with. And every year it's always something that I want to be better at, and it just seems like I get worse at. So it's time for me to break down some barriers and go talk to someone and see, you know, what we can figure out, what's triggering these things. Like I said, I come from a family that, you know, we're tough. We're feisty. We all have attitude issues. So I've always chalked it up to upbringing, and you know, it's not always fair. It's not fair to the people around you. You know, I can deal with it, but you know, someone like my wife, who is always happy-go-lucky, and you know, and I come home and I'm angry, frustrated because of sitting in traffic, you know, and she's in a great mood, and I walk in and I don't snap at her, but it's just the energy I'm putting out, you know, it takes her down, you know, and she doesn't deserve that. You know, I feel like I make her a worse person in life. And so yeah, I mean, that's it's real life. And, you know, you gotta think about our mental health just as much as our physical. And no matter how strong you are, how manly you are, you know, it's never a bad thing to seek help and just try to be a better person in life. And that's what I'm trying to do.